Hi, everyone.
Hey.
It's us.
It's been a minute.
It has.
I'm so sorry about that.
You know, why has it been a minute?
There are a multitude of reasons. Things have just been crazy. Also, as we have said time and time again, the nature of this podcast is very reliant on very not stable schedules. So we've been trying to set up interviews, have gotten either a lot of no's or no answers, or like when we have, timings just didn't work out, or like would get a yes and then again, like the day didn't pan out how they were supposed to. So it's just kind of the nature of what we do,
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. It is. And it's fine.
Yeah. But we have great news for you guys.
And that is, we have an arsenal now.
Yes.
Guys.
We had a really rocky month and a half of really struggling to get interviews to now we have so many interviews in our back pocket.
Which is so great.
Yes.
And we are so excited. We have a whole bunch of things in our back pocket. Mm-hmm. We just recorded an episode, actually.
Yes.
We're doing some podcast magic right now.
We really are.
Yeah.
And I think at least through the end of the year, we will be putting out an episode every 2 weeks consistently again. Yes. I know we 1000% lied to you and said with the grayscale one, that was the start of season 2. That was just a little teaser for the season.
Who was listening? Who picked up on that little, that's how we know if you
Someone
actually
you work with
did.
Someone asked L'Oreal, they were like, hey, there's no episode today. We were like, oh no.
We have one very passionate listener
that we're aware of.
And every Tuesday I get a text at 5:30 in the morning when she is driving to work, and she will say I'm listening.
Where's it?
And that's what happened the week that we were supposed to put out an episode, but we just physically didn't have anything. And she texted me and she said, hey, what happened? And I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. But we're back, guys.
We are.
We have an episode for you today.
Yep. And we will be consistent again. But today's episode is such a fun one.
It honestly,
to kick off with.
Oh man. And again, rolling with the punches of everything.
Yeah.
This episode, I
didn't even put that connection together. But yes, this is a result of doing exactly that.
Exactly that. It's with our very, very sweet friend, Victoria.
And Ellie.
And Ellie, mind you, we were thinking about it being either just Victoria. That's kind of what I geared off with it when we first met her. I was like, you're on our podcast, 1,000%. And then we were like, wait, it could be fun if we do a best friend podcast, because she is the tour manager of Taylor Acorn.
Yes.
It was lining up. Things were working out.
So well.
We got to do our Boys Like Girls collab with them.
Which was a separate thing.
Separate thing, same tour.
Yeah. So we were things just work out. We're going to be at the show anyway.
Yep.
Our
we'll
friends
have time.
are there.
It's in our town. It's in our area. It'll be so good. Taylor Acorn got sick.
Yeah.
She had to just drop the last day.
And unfortunately, it was the last night of tour too. So we're perfect. Everyone's going to be in high spirits because you're, rounding out a tour.
A 2-month tour too, or something crazy.
And just selfishly, I was bummed because I just wanted to see Taylor perform.
We haven't seen her since her new album has released.
Yeah.
And so we were it was going to be such a good day. It still was a great day.
It was great. It worked out great. We love Victoria and Ellie. They're such sweethearts for agreeing to be on the podcast.
Yeah. And so instead of Taylor being with Victoria, Ellie was there.
And we were like, do you want to be on here? I think we were setting up and we literally were just do you want to be on?
We were like, Ellie, come, you have stories, because Ellie is a phenomenal photographer.
So talented, so sweet.
Yeah. And so she's on tour with Taylor Acorn. So in this episode, we have Taylor Acorn's tour manager and photographer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And have we told the story of how we know them?
I don't think, not Victoria.
I can't remember if we talked about it on the podcast or not, but we'll give you a little synopsis. But way back when we went to Four Chord Music Festival, we were there with the Boys Like Girls. No, we were there with the People Are Ugly boys.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All of
those are the boys.
Yes.
So many boys.
Yes. And they are really good friends with Taylor Acorn and her whole camp because they went on tour together, right?
Yeah, Taylor Acorn took People Are Ugly on their first little tour, I think.
Yeah. So they're all best friends. So we ended up hanging out with Taylor Acorn's people at the festival. They're all so sweet, so amazing.
I remember hanging out with Taylor in her tent while it was downpouring.
Yeah.
in Pennsylvania, and like it was like a weird like gap in the day where we were all just kind of hanging out. And
we were having dinner, right?
I think we were eating dinner, and we were just like sitting on the floor with her, just talking to her. And I'm like, your group here is just so fun and like easy to talk to.
And we talk about that a lot in the podcast, how they genuinely are just like a group of friends that are on tour together.
Yeah.
And you can tell by just observing how they interact and how they work with each other, and everyone is just having a good time.
And what they produce too, I think.
Oh my gosh,
is
I know.
So like you have to love what you do, and you have to love, I think, the people you work with in these tight scenarios when you're on tour and stuck in a van with them for 2
tight
months.
Quarters all the time.
Yeah. Because I mentioned this too, like a little bit, but it's like you're first just kind of witnessing them. You're like, oh, they're like all best friends.
Yeah.
And then you get to meet them and you're like, oh, wait, you guys really
are.
Yeah, all best friends. And so we had such a great time at the show and just talking to Victoria and Ellie and just learning a little bit about their worlds. We were just, it was such a good time.
We will tell you a little more about it, but we'll stop yapping so much and let you listen to the actual episode because it is a really, really good one.
Yeah.
You're going to fall in love with Victoria and Ellie just like we did.
And if you don't, your brain will be studied for science later because something's wrong.
Here we go. Yeah. Without further ado, here are Victoria and Ellie.
Yeah. And hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Barricade. I'm Laure.
I'm Maddie.
And today we have we done a double interview yet?
I don't think so.
I mean, minus the people are ugly. That was like a triple. That was a crazy one. But we are with our first all-female double podcast episode. Hey, everyone.
That's good. Hi.
Hello. Introduce yourselves.
My name is Ellie. I am from Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm on the road with Taylor right now, doing photo and video, and it's been so fun. We've been on the road for about 2 months now, and we're made it to the final stretch today.
Yeah, final show.
Hell yeah. Take that, square it. I'm Victoria. I'm a tour manager.
Yes.
That's me.
That's you.
That's me.
You're the best thing. I would like to just kind of start this all off.
Pause. We love them. We love y'all so much. So much.
Well, we love you.
We love all of Taylor Acorn's whole camp. Amazing.
Yes. And I was about to say that's like perfect because when we first saw Taylor Acorn back, oh God, when was it? Like, was it at
Four Chord?
No, it was
we had seen her before that.
We saw her at House of Blues. Yeah. In like the foundry room, like the top room, this tiny room. And we saw all of you guys. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like that was my first time seeing Taylor Acorn. And I was like, she just has all of her best friends on tour with her. I had no idea what anybody's role was. And then as we got to know you guys, I'm like, wait, you guys are all working and touring. But you are all best friends.
Yeah. It's so fun. That's how we met. Like originally we met just mutual friends. So Taylor and I were friends like far before we even started touring together. And that's when she was like, dude, like, would you want to come on the road? I'm like, hell yeah. Found Ricky, all the people. But like, so Emma is Ellie's sister and they write everything together. Taylor and her do. So they wrote like all of her last album, everything.
Yeah.
We're all like intertwined.
Wow. It's crazy. Yeah, my brother-in-law works with
also my business partner,
Victoria.
So
we're like one big happy family.
That's
we are.
Yes, because you have a studio.
I have a studio in Nashville. I also own a digital marketing agency with my best friends. So Buck is her brother-in-law, and then Dalton is Taylor's boyfriend.
Right. Yes.
So it's just.
And we met him at Four Chord.
You met him there.
Yes. Yeah.
Love them, my boys, forever. But so Dalton, Buck, and I own the studio and the agency.
I love that.
Kind of mingle it all together.
Awesome. Taylor Acorn's kind of like our, I feel like, anchor for everything. Because I remember when I was shooting.
Icon.
Yeah, literally. I was shooting the People Are Ugly Boys at Four Chord, So What?
Yeah,
in Texas. And I was just like singing Greener, just like randomly while walking. They stopped me and they're like, is that Taylor Acorn you're singing? And I'm like,
wait.
Yeah. And they're like, we went on tour with her for like the first tour.
Oh, that's how that happened?
Yeah.
Oh my God, because I remember seeing y'all's photos of them and I was like, those are sick. I never knew how y'all ended up meeting.
Yep.
Yeah. That's really freaking cool.
That was the first time like I ever shot them and met them, and it's been the best time ever since.
Yeah,
we love
y'all
them.
just like rowdy whatever.
Yeah.
Speaking of like weird connections too, that was a weird connection from a college friend of mine reached out to me. Who's the People Are Ugly contact? that you
Miriam?
got.
Miriam.
I love
Yes.
her.
We love Miriam
She
so much.
is friends with my friend Darby,
Oh.
and she was like, "Hey, can you shoot this show?" And I was like, "I already had a wedding, I think." And then
Yeah.
I was like, "But L'Oreal can."
I'm like the
Hell
Great Value
yeah.
Medicine.
And then just
So,
like started this whole big snowball.
Yeah, and so now we're all best friends. Yeah,
Oh.
so great. Yeah.
No, because I feel like I saw y'all one time. I saw you guys shoot at their So
Yep.
What,
Mhm.
and then I saw y'all at Four Chord, and since then I feel like I see you guys everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all have
We
been
try to be.
literally everywhere.
We try to be everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
but it's so chaotic.
No, it's
good. Thank you. Yeah.
Good. You're living a good life, and also you're getting so much
trying.
experience while you're doing it.
Yeah, we're
We
trying.
try.
with every band possible.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
absolutely.
actively trying.
Actively,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, and I feel like festivals are so good for that too, because
Mhm.
obviously that's how we kind of met you guys and your
Yeah.
whole camp,
Yeah.
and just how being in an environment where everyone's just like hanging out
Mhm.
and you have the full day to
It's
just
so cool. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the downtime and stuff. You play what, like a 40, 30
Mhm.
minute
Mhm.
set, whatever, and then you just hang out the rest of the
Yeah.
time.
And it's the best time because
Little
you're like
artist
with all your
village.
friends.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool.
it's a lot
I
of
love
fun.
it. I love it. I love it.
So we are on tour. It is the last day of tour. Kind of like the premise for Beyond the Barricade is we talk to people in the industry about when they were fans. So
Mhm.
backing it up, when you guys were all friends,
Yeah.
before tour was even like in the like distance, who were you guys listening to and like going to see? Do you remember like a concert that was just absolutely like you were like, I want to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love EDM. So
No way.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
love. I think one of the first concerts that I was like, oh my gosh, I need to be on stage with my camera was when I saw Elenium. And it was when Elenium was really
good.
small.
Wow.
So
We-
good.
I saw him in this like really small, like intimate venue when he was still up and coming, and he had like a full band, like he had a drummer, he had an electric guitarist. And I
That's so
remember
cool.
like I mean, now it's hard for me to even sit in a concert without my camera now.
Yes.
Because it's like, you know, you see so much happening on stage, and it's just
Mhm.
like, it's hard for me not to be there with my camera. So I think that was one of the first times that I was like, I think I
Yeah.
should maybe give this a shot.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was probably it.
That was your moment.
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love like an R&B
Ooh.
Mhm.
moment.
Oh,
So I
yes.
feel like
Yes, she does.
I make them, I give them concerts daily on the bus.
I love
Oh
that.
my God, karaoke.
Yep.
I get on the jibble and I'm like, okay, guys, sit down, listen. It's my time to shine.
That's
Mhm.
amazing.
No, but I think honestly, like my favorite person I've ever seen has been SZA.
Ooh.
So
But I
great.
started and like, I mean, I was a hardcore believer. What was it? A believer?
Yeah,
believer.
believer.
I'm like, oh, I was hardcore.
What were they called? Yes.
No,
You were a
but
believer.
that's where I started. And I was like, but I remember going to the concerts and I was like, I wonder what's going on like behind the stage. Like I wonder what's going on. Not even, I loved being a fan too, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But I remember being in like the 400 sections, nosebleeds, being like, I wish I could see like all the ins and outs of just like how they set up the stage and stuff. And I was like, I didn't even realize though until I got to end of that it was a job, right? Like you're
Yeah.
just thinking you're like 12, you're like, oh, they do whatever,
Mhm.
whatever.
The
But you don't
singer
think
is
of
on tour. Yeah.
you don't think of all the roles that go
No.
behind it. And that's what I tell these guys all the time because the tour we're on now, they bring all their kids. Like it's so family oriented, which is awesome.
that's so
I'm like, you're
nice.
giving them a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, you're setting them up to know they could do anything in the world they wanted. There's
Yeah.
so
For
many
real.
opportunities
Yeah.
that people don't find out about until they
Mhm.
get mid-20s normally.
Yeah. And they like already have to
Whatever.
have their life planned out.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like,
And
career path.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
feel like you kind of like almost accidentally stumble into it. And a lot of
Yeah.
the people that we've talked to Chevy Murray, who does makeup on tour for like Black Veil Brides.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that was a huge talking point that we talked about, that like you don't think about that being like a touring position
Yeah.
until you just kind of like stumble into it.
And it's so sick. Like, I tell everyone this too. I think everyone should have to tour for at least 2 weeks. I'm talking like a van tour. I'm not talking a cushy,
No,
like,
no, not a bus.
Yeah. No,
You
it
have to
teaches
rough
you
it.
so
Mhm.
much about yourself too, and like the people
Yeah.
you're around and stuff. I don't know. I think there's so much beauty in
Yeah.
touring. There's so much.
You just
chaos
learn so
in it
much about
too,
people too.
Yeah,
You
you
learn how
learn
to adapt
interactions.
with every single
Yes.
Roll
type
with
of
the punches.
personality.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, exactly.
Unless you changed a tire like on a
Yeah,
van on the side of the road.
highway.
unless you know how to sleep off, like run off 2 hours of sleep
Yeah,
every
if
single
you're
night.
sleeping on a van
Yeah.
floor, like you
Mhm.
don't know pain until then.
No, I know. Every tour I've ever been on afterwards, I'm like, massage.
Yes.
I think that should be a part of everybody's tour package. It's like the last day, just get it all worked out of you.
That was one of the first things I did when I went on my first tour. I was like, made a promise to myself. I'm like, I don't care if I'm come out negative on this tour. I need to get a massage.
Yes. Honestly, that's self wellness.
Yeah, you got to take care of it.
Absolutely. Do you guys remember the first tour you've been on, or the first like show that you shot?
Yeah.
I started with a couple local bands in Charleston. Actually, this one cover band called Flash Mob. We talk about it to this day.
Flash Mob.
That I remember texting them or DMing them on Instagram, and I was still trying to figure it out. And I was like, "Hey guys, I see you guys out and about. I'd love to just come out and shoot your show."
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, they still use the video I made for them to this day.
I love that.
And it's so cute because obviously I've progressed so much since then, and I look back at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I see all these little flaws, but to them it's like this beauty, and they love it so much. So
when do you think that was?
That was probably right when I moved to Charleston. That was about 4 years ago.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the coolest things being in a creative industry is looking back at old work and being like,
I did not know how to use a
so
camera.
much better.
I know. But
that's the goal of it though.
Yeah.
You don't want to stay the same. And
Exactly.
I feel like that's always, you want to look back at last year's work and be like, oh, I'm so much better now.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest compliment when they're still using it years later.
I know. It's the best. It's the best. And I've continued to shoot with them over the years, and they're just the sweetest boys.
Awesome.
So
I love it.
It's been really cool.
Yeah. What about you? Your first tour?
My first tour. Okay, our first show we ever did was Tay, Ricky, and I. And we had other ones too, but the people that are still with us was Tay, Ricky, and I. And none of us had ever toured before.
Oh,
so we literally show up to this day. And I remember the tour manager being like, I have per diems ready. And I literally...
You're like, I don't know.
No. She said buyout. She said, I have your buyouts ready. And I'm like, what is a buyout? I'm like, what the hell?
Google search.
I did. And it was a shit. It was good. It was a shit show.
Yeah.
Having just to learn everything, whatever. But it was good. It was a lot. I also sold merch that show. So I was running back and forth in the middle of the crowd. It was interesting. It was with...
Was it Grayscale?
No, it was Heart Attack Man and Tate. Tate
McRae?
No, Tate is the lead singer of...
Come on.
Yep.
Tate is the lead singer of...
And Tess is his tour manager.
I feel like I should know this.
I can't remember the band name.
Okay.
I'm horrible with names. But anyways, it was their show.
Yeah.
And we had 3 dates with them. And I remember coming off that one and being like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing at all. But it's fun now to look back and be like, okay, everything's so seamless. You just know exactly how the day's going to run. But the first show was kind of crazy.
Yeah. How long was that little run?
That first one was 3 days. And then 2 months later, we went out with Real Friends, With Confidence, Home Team, and us.
Oh my gosh.
So that was a 4-band bill. And the stages were, it was a great tour, and we made so many friends.
Yeah.
The stages were so packed, though. It was so funny. Just trying to fit actually 4 drum kits on a stage.
Oh my God,
at a
I can
time.
only imagine.
Nobody was
we
sharing.
need our own.
No, nobody was sharing, I don't think. I'm trying to look back on it.
So
But
funny.
it also feels like all the tours mesh together in my head because you tour so much.
Yeah.
The most fun ones are the overseas ones because you're just brain dead. You're just have no clue what's going on at
You have no
any
idea
time.
where you are, the time zone.
You wake up and you're like, okay, you can't even discuss what time it is in real life.
No.
It's a fake reality.
Yes, we're all living in a simulation right now.
Yeah.
I believe that so.
No, I fully agree. At this point, I'm like, okay, I woke up today. How much hours of sleep did I get? I don't know.
And then it's you have people back home and you're trying to communicate with them and you're like,
So
I have
it's
no
hard.
idea.
Yeah, my mom will call me every day and she's like, you're tired. I'm like, no, but yes.
It's I'm kind of just
I'm good,
autopilot.
but
Yeah.
I feel that's so heavy.
It's crazy. It really is. We're going home and my friends are like, how was it? What happened? I'm like, oh God, nothing and everything.
Yes. I'm like, I need a second to decompress.
Yeah.
And when I say a second, I mean a week.
Yes. And then I go to tell them stories that people they have know nothing about. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This story means nothing to you.
Yeah.
You know?
But
I just walk up to my camera roll.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. I will post an Instagram story and it'll be a week after everybody's done posting about whatever festival or tour or whatever. And I'm just I'm just coming out of my little dungeon that I made for myself because I needed to decompress and
those are nice.
Feel everything.
Yeah. The week after, I think it takes normally a week and to be okay, I feel like I'm normal again.
Yeah.
So y'all have been on this tour with Boys Like Girls and Dashboard Confessional. This is the last date of the tour. And I know we've had festivals in between and all that. Do you have a favorite tour memory from this little run?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
What you got?
There was one. Well, everybody on this entire bill is just so sweet. Like everybody is very nice. They will do anything for you. It's very family oriented. But there was one night and we hang out pretty much most nights.
I love that.
There was one night when we all were we hung out the entire night directly after show, like into just like bus call.
Yeah.
Those are always going to be my favorite nights when we're just like chatting about life and all the things. Yeah. Nothing crazy.
Being
Those
human together.
Yeah.
I feel like that's so special though when everyone like meshes well and it just makes the whole experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're just coexisting with each other.
I would do anything for any of these people in a heartbeat.
I love that.
We could even tell that like setting up for this podcast, like people just popping in and out and everyone's just so like
people yelling at us across the like soundtrack.
And kind of like Laura was saying the first time we saw Taylor, like we didn't even know you guys and we could tell that y'all we're like, they're just all friends.
Yeah, we just like to have a good time. I mean, I think that like literally every day we wake up and we're like, okay, it's going to be a good fucking day. There's no reason to bring any like ill will into the day, no matter what happened the day before. You wake up, new day.
It's a new day.
Yeah. No matter what happens, I feel like we always just keep a smile on our face, which is
hard.
I'd rather,
too.
It's hard, but I'd rather live like that than be like,
absolutely.
Okay, one of us gets sad in a day and it creates an entire weird.
It's the worst when you're in a bad mood and you make like everybody
Other
knows
people.
it.
Yeah.
And then also like you're going to make everybody else have a bad time.
I'm not into that.
No.
I'm not into
We
that
don't
at
need
all.
that.
No.
Absolutely not.
No. So I think that's like our favorite thing to do is just
have fun.
Yeah.
hang out.
Gosh, there's been so many good memories. When we were young was really fun.
Yeah.
We played one of the side shows the night before, and then
What was that side? Was that what Taking Back Sunday?
And the
Yes,
used.
and the
Yeah.
used.
Oh
Yeah.
my
that's
gosh.
cool.
It was cool.
How was that?
that was sick. I mean, the venue itself was sick.
And the used, they're like
what a show.
chained.
Yeah.
All their extras are so fucking
God.
cool.
Love
They
that.
took like a mic. He was the one that took the mic out into they had this really super long microphone cord that took it like all the way through the whole crowd, like all the
It was
way
so
up.
interactive.
So
It
cool.
was sick.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a really sick show.
I'd never seen anything like that.
So that was fun. And then we all got to hang out in kind of like the artist lounge the next day.
Yeah.
Just hang out with everybody.
All
and
the
it was
friends.
All
really
the
fun,
friends.
Yeah.
It is cool though because take us 3 years ago knew nobody. Like this obviously isn't our not obviously, but this isn't our genre.
Yeah.
That we typically would like sway towards, but I think it's even more beautiful because we show up on a tour, we don't know anything, and then now I know every word to every single person's set.
Mm-hmm.
But where was I going with that?
Yeah, it's just cool how we've
the
like opened our
community of
eyes
it.
to a new community of
Yeah,
people.
we'll go into the artist villages and we know people.
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing. I'm like, oh, I met you 2 years ago. Oh, we're good friends from this.
Yeah.
Set it up.
That's what I was there with my friends that were playing too. And we were just like all sitting in the artist village. And I'm like, I'm going to go say hi to my friends.
Yeah.
And then it was like, wait, I also know that person. And like,
You
wait,
know,
like, I like, you kind of get stopped, like kind of like
build
just
a whole
walking.
little community.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's so cool.
That's something I feel like, again, like in the music world is so important because one, you guys are always on the road too. So it's like you need to kind of find those like communities and those
You have to find
feelings
your
of
family,
home.
on the road.
Feelings of like family on the road for sure.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting too that neither of y'all are like this is your genre that you grew up listening to because I think in my mind I assume that everyone on a tour
Everyone.
that's like what
Oh, trust me, we get told about it.
We do because I mean, all the boys are talking about this and that and this artist and that artist, and we cut me and Vic look at each other like, we're learning, slowly learning.
Y'all said SZA?
Yeah, right.
But I've definitely opened my eyes to this genre
I
for
love
sure.
it now.
Even
I
like
do.
the extreme side of it, like the
Screaming.
screaming.
I'm into it.
Yes.
like it.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think that's such a testament to like live music in general too, is that like I think it gives you an appreciation, even if you're not like necessarily listening to it, you know, on car rides or whatever. Like it gives you an appreciation for the genre no matter what.
It does.
And I think like my thing is like I love the humans so much of it. That's always gonna be like my center. And so I love the humans so much. I'm like, how can I not like your music? You know what I mean? Like I want to know every single word. I'm gonna scream on the side stage. I will watch the show every single night. I don't care how many nights we're here for. I will watch all the show every single night.
Well,
every
and
day.
something too, like with that, and I feel like we've talked about this with some other artists too, where it's like every show, even though like the set list typically stays the same, and you are kind of in like a weird like autopilot mode when it comes like to stage time, but it's like every show is still different. The crowds are different in each one. You're gonna have a different interaction. So I would absolutely too. I feel like I'd be like the one watching.
Never gets
I
old.
love it.
Yeah.
I love, something different happens every day.
Yeah,
It just boosts my serotonin. Also, I'm like, what am I going to sit in the green room? Like,
you're gonna sit on the bus and just sleep.
No.
We can sleep later.
Not the vibe.
Not the vibe. It couldn't be us. Couldn't be us.
We've talked about that too, like Laura said, where I was like, even just like as fans, we would go see the same artist, but like in different cities or like multiple dates on a tour. tour. Because every show is different and it's a new experience.
How we met Zach and Cody first too, because we were following the main around and we went to 3 main shows and they were just constant faces that we kind of kept seeing, and they were like, wait, we just saw you. They her and our friend Jen bought them pizza one night because they were eating dinner at the same place. So it's just you just, I don't know, you kind of see the same
being in the environment. You meet, it's like y'all were saying, you meet people and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, all my friends are here.
It's and those sick. 3 shows, it was the 3 main the main, everybody was playing the same set list. But it was still so fun.
Different. Yeah.
How you interact with the crowd is
and
different.
And also, you obviously connect with that band. So when you go, you're feeling something. It's not like you're just listening to the song. You're actually feeling the music. You're having a great time.
That's something that we love too. It's we kind of started this whole publication based on fan interactions because we've had personally such strong fan interactions ourselves. And then just being photographers, waiting in line or waiting at the barricade, we heard people telling us these stories, and we're like, we need to tell these stories because these stories are so
cool
important.
What y'all do.
Thank you.
We have fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And it also lets people be heard, Fans, when they have a voice, they feel more connected to that artist in general.
Exactly. And then also it's they get those behind the scenes kind of things with this side of it all too.
Exactly.
It's cool. I love it.
Yeah.
And I think that it's such a compliment to the artist, but also to the culture that they've created. That every fan is there because of a mutual love, but they have a different reason for loving it, or a different song that they connect with,
different
or
story.
Just a story around it. Meeting a significant other. I always say we've seen proposals happen at shows, just insane
so
things.
Cool.
It's so cool
that tie you to the music.
Yeah.
I know. I think we literally this last one have had 4 proposals.
No way. That's amazing.
Yeah. Every time they come up, I'm like, again?
Okay.
That's sweet.
Okay. You guys are just messing with us now.
Just call myself a
okay. You're making dreams happen. You're starting families over here.
And think of how much that music has to mean to them to choose that to be the avenue that they're
I know.
posing.
I always tell Taylor, I'm like, this should feel so special for you. You know what I mean?
That's so cool.
Being on this run last day, unfortunately, Taylor is sick. How long has this tour been? It's been
2 months.
Yeah. So
headlines in between.
Yep.
We have had on this 2-month run 13 off days total.
Oh my gosh.
That's insane.
Yeah, so it was
nonstop.
It was nonstop for sure. I mean, inevitably, anyone would get sick.
What kind of keeps you guys going personally when you guys are on a long tour and you're kind of almost to the end of it and you're just feeling the weight of it all? What keeps you going?
Gosh.
I don't like to feel the weight of it all. So I don't think we talk about this a lot. We are to each other. We I would say me, you, and Anthony, our merch guy, are very good at just if one of us is feeling a little, even we sense a little bit down, picking each other right back up. Because the second you start to feel the weight of how actually long it is, you go down a little rabbit hole.
Exactly.
So we don't really, I don't want to speak for you.
Once you start to feel the burnout, it's over.
Yeah, I think we just lift each other up. I think that's what keeps us going. And then also, I mean, our camp is so good about giving everybody space when people need it too. Because we're in such close quarters too. So, if we can kind of tell that somebody just needs, a moment, we'll give it to them.
Give them a little love, give them a little moment, whatever
so
it is.
Much.
Yeah, I think that's another testament to just how great y'all's group that you have.
We just love your group so much.
We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, we really don't.
That's awesome.
I think it's cool. But we've also we are each other's family now. We know exactly what each other needs in the moment, and we just go from there.
Each other at our best
different. Every day it's different. Yeah,
you kind of can feel what the other person's feeling and work off of that.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
So I know we need to get y'all out of here so you can actually do your job. We've got one last question that we ask everyone when we're stopping. What are you listening to right now? What do you have on repeat?
Okay.
Either artist or song.
Rockman.
What is it?
McGee Rockman.
Okay.
Gosh, well,
how many times have I made you listen to this song?
Oh my gosh. She has been played it 50 times over the past. Oh my gosh, it's been crazy.
I'm so sorry.
We love it now.
We love it. Now you
if you're listening,
we were forced
I love
into
you.
it.
Yeah, right.
Taylor played this song the other day, and now I can't stop listening to it. American Teenager by Ethel Cain.
Oh
my gosh.
Yes.
I literally listened to it 18 times in my headphones before I go to bed. It's so good.
What are y'all listening to?
Oh God, I've been hardcore into a couple of things, and they're so vastly different.
Okay.
The new 4 Year Strong album.
Ooh.
Is just heavy, and I need it to kind of get me going a little bit sometimes. And then the second one, Gracie Abrams released her deluxe.
Oh, I love
her. So good.
So good.
I love her.
The newer songs on it in particular, I think that my neighbors probably think I'm unwell because I will just have it blasting and I'm like in my shower screaming to Gracie.
Like, is she okay?
Yes. Like, I'm like, no, but it's fine. Yes. What about you?
I joke that like once a quarter, I hyperfixate on a band, Half Alive.
Okay.
They're amazing. They opened for 21 Pilots, who are like one of my favorite artists. And I knew one song of theirs at the time, and now I love them. But they're one of those artists that I get stuck on, and I listened to on repeat for like 2 weeks.
Right now.
That's what I'm on right now.
That's so good, though. To be stuck on.
Yeah, no.
And then I'll go like 3 months and not listen to them, and then it'll like
go back in,
and then it'll come back. So I'm on my quarterly hyperfixation with Half Alive right now.
Hell yeah.
Also,
I love that.
Taylor Acorn's album.
Also, yes. We got to give a shout out to that.
Yeah.
Something in the water.
Oh my God.
It makes you just want to repeat it over and over.
Good.
It's so good. Everything, the visuals too to go along with that.
Yes.
We can talk about that separately because I could go on about how
forever
beautiful and just well done it is.
Birds. Yeah. My favorite song ever.
I cry. Listen,
I've
never cried so much with just like watching a single video.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
it's good.
I love love. This is so good.
Oh, I love love. Oh, yeah. Wait, that's a whole other topic. But seriously, on repeat all the time.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much.
We're
so
you.
excited that you guys were still able to talk to us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Thank you
here's
so
to-
much.
It was great.
What a way to close out tour. Look at that.
Thank you guys.
Congrats on the tour. Yes. Fantastic. How much did you guys like that?
It was such a fun conversation.
It was.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. I
enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But as you can see, Victoria and Ellie are both just incredible. So fun to talk to, so sweet. Both love what they do, are both so good at what they do.
Yeah. I'm just like, they're so, I don't even know how to put it. It's very easy to tell, like when you meet somebody kind of like in a work environment where you're just kind of checking off the boxes.
Yeah.
Like, I know you have to do this because somebody in management said you have to do this, or somebody on your label says, oh, you have to stand here and talk to this person.
Especially on tour when things can get so monotonous because you are doing the same thing over and over every day. And the only variation is putting out fires, I feel like.
Which that day there was fires to be put out.
Obviously.
And so we were kind of talking about this the other day where it's like, I hate feeling like I'm an inconvenience to somebody or to somebody's time. And so that's not felt at all with them. No. I mean, even that whole crew, like from every band's perspective, I feel like we're so welcoming and so kind. And they're like, we want to be where we are right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was what I was trying to, I think, put into words.
Yes. Yeah. So it was such a fun time getting to talk to them. It was such a fun night just being at that show. If you follow along on social media, you saw that we got to talk to some fans for Boys Like Girls. So we were doing some work with them, and it was just such a good night and so full of just like the best people.
All of the stars aligned.
They really did.
It's one thing I feel like too, in particular, when like our friends get to be on tours and then they stop in Dallas.
Yeah.
And then we're like, wait, we could also potentially do some Backing the Barricade stuff. Oh, wait, our friends are also like on this tour too. Like, and so it was quite literally just like
perfect.
And it was the last night of tour.
Yeah.
Everybody was hanging out.
High spirits.
On the stage.
Yeah. It was fun because as you do on last night of tour, the last song, they brought out all of the like crew members and everything. So we got to stand side stage and watch Ellie and Victoria just run out on stage and have a good time.
Yeah,
Ellie was taking photos, but
she got out there.
She was out there though.
Yeah. We were just like taking pictures and just like documenting it because we're like, this is so cool, and we want to take this for you so you guys have this memory to have too. But yeah,
just all of our friends together.
I will say, and I know you were thinking this, and I'm just going to jump right into it. Again, this is another episode where we talk to people where their influences are nothing really sounding like the music that they are a part of.
Yeah.
Like Taylor Acorn is very like punky, like I don't even like
pop punk.
Pop punk. Yeah. And like Victoria too, you just assume like you're in this scene. Ellie too, you're taking photos in this scene. You must have gravitated towards this for some reason.
Because you are a fan of this. And not that they aren't a fan, but it's not the genre that they grew up being a fan of, which I think is so funny and is so much more common than I realized.
Yeah, because with us, I feel like it's not.
Yeah,
But
because
yeah,
I kind of stay in my little pop punk emo world
I mean, I think
for the most part.
what I was going to say, what did you like? I've never asked you this question. What did you grow up listening to?
It was the Fall Out Boy, the Panic at the Disco, all that.
You never ventured?
Not really. I mean, like I really feel like I just listened to top 4. Like I didn't really have a music. I don't know, like preference or like outside of like top 40 before. Like that was the first genre that I like dug into.
Gotcha.
And then I had friends in high school that, oh my God, I played basketball in high school and our whole team would listen to Drake before games.
Wow.
That was a time in my life. So there was a time in my life where like I listened to that, but that's because my teammates listened to that.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So, but yeah, I really think pop punk and the emo kind of world is the first music that I dove into as a fan myself, not because my friends were listening to it. And I've just stuck there. I just stayed there.
You never left.
I feel like you were the same. Would you?
Ish.
Yeah. What was your?
I mean, I got made fun of. Okay. You couldn't tell. Yeah. I got made fun of. You said yes.
No, I've heard this. I've heard this.
I got made fun of so much growing up for the music I listened to, which is bull. You shouldn't do that. Don't make fun of
rude.
kids.
Don't do that.
That's mean. But as I bullied this person to go to the show. Anyway, I was like the emo kid. Yeah. Like I listened to My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy. And then that dove and like kind of went into the pop punk realm. But in high school, I also was really into like Tyler, the Creator.
Oh, okay.
And Kid Cudi in particular. Yeah.
Okay.
And so
I did know you. Okay. Yeah. I knew you had that little side to your taste.
Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of it was because of like my older brother though. Like he was like the influencer.
Yeah.
And so the like kind of rap thing. And I feel like too, like Linkin Park kind of like dabbled into like just the more spoken word aspect into like different genre sounding, genre bending kind of thing. Genre bending. Which I feel like if I would have been introduced to 21 Pilots, like when they came out, I probably would have liked it because they sound, I think they fall into that.
It's the same idea.
Yes, exactly. So I think that's kind of like the stretch of like rap and then like musical theater. Yeah. That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother side of me that we love, music-wise. Yeah. But like, I kind of joke where it's like every genre I love and I appreciate except country music.
I was about to say, there's a caveat there. Yeah,
there is an asterisk. There's a but in that one.
I hate country, but I think it's more out of rebelling against where I grew up because that's a lot of what people in my like growing up circle, high school listened to. And I never did join that little world, but it was funny talking to Victoria and Ellie because I think Ellie said like EDM a lot, which I was not expecting.
That was yeah.
And then Victoria said R&B.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's like into like rap and Ellie's into EDM, and we should have asked her about our little dip dive into John's artist that he gave us, Justice, and we were all this techno stuff we were listening to.
We were getting an education when we were in Brooklyn.
Yes, we got educated.
Yes,
hardcore.
But it's so funny because those are so like vastly different than the like Taylor Acorn world that they now live inside of because they obviously are touring with her and
and I love that question.
I know.
We'll always ask that question until the day we die.
Yeah. And like we said, it's so funny because I feel like more often than not, it's not the genre that they are involved in, which in my mind just is not what I expect.
Yeah, it's not. But I'm so happy for it.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, it makes me smile. And I love it because I don't know. I also think, though, it probably gives them a bigger appreciation for their job.
Sure. Oh, that was something else that I wanted to talk about. And I think it was Victoria that said, because I can't remember what question we asked, but she said, oh yeah, I still watch the sets every night because, and like, she was like, even when you love the people so much, like you're not going to like the music. And so she's, when they brought everyone out on stage and Victoria was there, she was having the time of her life and jumping around and singing along. And I was like, it's just so cool what live music does to like bring people into a world that like, even they maybe outside of working in it or being exposed to it, they wouldn't be a part of. But
exactly.
Live music is just so cool, and I think it really does that. And I loved that Victoria said that during the interview.
I know, that was the like golden like ticket moment.
Yeah.
So,
and I also think in my mind that it would be so easy when you're touring to get jaded or like not jaded. I don't think that's the right word, but just like it is the same thing every single night and not, you know, being so easy to be, okay, we're done with our set. Like I'm going to go in the green room and like chill.
Listen to our set again.
Yeah.
It would get very Groundhog Day.
Yeah. And so I love that she still like every night just loves what she does and loves being a part of it and watching her friends on stage and listening to their music. And it was such a cool little thing that she mentioned during the podcast.
Cool little thing. Cool little room of really fucking cool girls. And I love that.
It was such a good time.
Yeah.
We love them. We love Taylor. We were so sad to not get to see her perform / talk to her for the podcast. But if she...
Health is important.
Health is important. They were also headed to the UK like the next
this
week.
Weekend.
Now.
Yes. So by the time you hear this, they will be in the UK, I believe. Or Australia.
Because after the UK, they were doing Australia. So they had a packed schedule and a lot of traveling like that. So obviously... being 100% healthy is top priority.
Top priority.
Especially when traveling that far. But yeah, Taylor is incredible. If you get the chance to see her, you need to. We're so lucky that we've seen her multiple times now. Every time she gives everything she can on stage.
Honestly,
and you can tell.
You can tell. And then it kind of like she wouldn't be able to do a performance sick because she's like
not going to half-ass it.
Yeah, no, she does not half-ass anything. And she's like, her fans get all of her or like none of her.
And she does not stop moving on stage.
Dude.
You can't do that sick. She has so much energy. Her shows are so fun. It's insane.
She's insane. We love you.
So definitely check her out if she's coming anywhere near you. Check out the new album if you haven't already.
Yes, Survival in Motion is a banger. Good. I was just listening to it on my way home today because I was like, it's so true.
Yeah. We're just big Taylor Acorn fangirls, basically.
Big fans. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging out.
Yeah, tuning in again.
And having all of the patience while we were kind of gone.
Yeah, so sorry about that. But we are back to consistency. This was a great one to come out the gate with because...
Again, the second time.
They're amazing. Again.
And also, though, we have episodes.
We do. In the queue.
So...
Done.
Do not fret. We will be back every other Tuesday.
Yeah, we will actually be consistent this time.
We promise.
We've got stuff lined up through the end of the year, which is amazing. Yeah. So thank you for giving us a little grace on ghosting you.
Oh, I hate being ghosted. And we did ghost
That's really our bad. But we came back. It's okay. We didn't leave forever.
We texted back.
It was just a little late.
My phone was on Do Not Disturb. Anyway, these are all excuses I've gotten.
Anyway. That's a discussion for another time.
That's the next episode. Anyway, make sure you follow us online, you guys. Yeah. We don't post who our interviews are with until we announce them.
Yeah.
So, though, fun fact, you could get a little behind the scenes if you follow us on Instagram.
That's true.
Because we will randomly post things on our stories. Yeah. So make sure you're following along. We have a lot of cool things coming up, which means you guys will have a lot of cool things to witness.
A lot of cool content.
A lot of interviews.
Yeah. So a lot of new things that we're in the process of introducing for Back in the Barricade. So keep an eye out for those.
Yeah. All of the announcements.
Yeah.
Find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, the podcast.
All the Spotify things, all the podcast things, Spotify, Apple, everything.
The other one, Samsung.
Yep. Wherever you get your podcast.
Wherever you indulge in your podcast, you will find us.
Follow along. We're going to be annoying and rate the podcast and write a review because that helps us get found, which is so incredible. I know that's so annoying and people say that all the time, but it's so true. It helps us more than you know. If you could take 30 seconds to write just a little review.
Or, they rock.
Just give it a little 5-star too.
Please.
If you hate it, don't bother doing any of that.
If you hate it, forget everything we just said.
This is not for you.
Unless you want me to fight you online. My camera died, so on that note, thanks guys. We'll talk to you guys in a couple of weeks.
Yep, a couple weeks, yeah.
2 weeks.
So we'll have a new episode, we promise.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.